I'm Xu Heyan. My project will be an experimental montage project, which will show that when a living being is preparing breakfast, its simple actions, such as washing an apple, cutting pizza, and blowing on it to cool, bring a great impact on the small words on the foods. The genre of the project is fantasy. It will combine two types of footages through the montage technique. The first type is my own footage, a living being preparing breakfast in the kitchen. The mood is light and relaxed. The second type contains the disaster scenes in several found footage movies and documentaries with tense and fear mood. Washing apple in the big world corresponds to the rainstorm in the apple world. This found footage is from a documentary, 2016, The Disaster Diaries. Cutting pizza in the big world corresponds to the ground cracking in the pizza world. This footage is from the found footage movie Super Volcano. Blowing on pizza to cool corresponds to the storm in the pizza world. This footage is from the found footage movie Into the Storm. In my project, in addition to these three scenes, there will be other scenes. Could you help me think about what other simple actions in the big world can greatly affect the small world, and how do they affect the small world? The theme of the project was inspired by a Japanese physicist, Michio Kaku's thought about a pond in his childhood. A pond is the world of some cups. The world above the surface of the pond is unknown to them. Cup scientists may say you can only go inside the pond. That is the only universe. Perhaps the pond mentioned above contains many smaller worlds, such as the interior of a fish or a pebble. Maybe our world is just a pond in a bigger world. I hope that my project can bring my audience this kind of conjecture about the world and make them think more about the world. In Tom and Jerry, Tom's owner is a partially seen character. Her head was rarely seen. I also intend to show as little as possible the living being who is preparing breakfast. I will leave only its arms and hands in the shot, in order to suggest that the main character in my project is just a vague concept. It may be a human being, it may also be a more advanced creature, or a less advanced creature than human. Inspired by some films, I decided to use smooth zoom transitions and J-cut in my project. Parker Warpack used the smooth zoom transition in his film, zooming from a clip to another clip. Steven Spielberg used J-cut in Saving Private Ryan. You hear what's going on before you see what's going on. According to the above techniques, in my film, the shot zoomed into an object in my own footage. In this process, the sound from the small world gradually increases, and then the found footage is shown. I'll use these cutting techniques to lead my audience from a clip into the next clip, to make the edit more seamless, and to bring a feeling that the world in footage 2 exists in some object in footage 1. Here are my references. I asked this question before. If you have any idea, please tell me. Or do you have any advice or any questions for me?